The gaming world is undergoing some changes, and while we've always seen some good games in January, this upcoming January, it's really stacked with them. I'm Falcon, and today on GameRanks, the top 10 games of January 2017. Number 10 is Digimon World Next Order, which I don't know if you noticed, but Digimon seems to be back with vengeance. If you enjoyed the mechanics and presentation to Digimon World Redigitize and Digimon World Decode, well, this is an evolution of that. They're actually adding a second Digimon partner, changing the battle system up a little bit, but it's still AI based, and actually has a little bit of influence from Final Fantasy XIII in that you issue strategic commands as opposed to individual commands, and really the whole system actually probably works a little bit better than Final Fantasy XIII's system if you ask me. It's not a carbon copy. It's certainly different enough that if you have played Final Fantasy XIII, it's still worth trying, because Digimon, let's just go ahead and say it, it's not a melodramatic mess. Number 9, Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, which takes the Sniper Ghost Warrior series into AAA territory. It is the first of CI Games series that will feature a budget comparable to an actual modern day AAA game. Which, considering what they did without that kind of a budget, I mean, considering how difficult it is to make an impact on the first-person tactical shooter genre, I'm excited because they have, without the budget, and now they've got the budget. They did very well, especially with Ghost Warrior 2, and are adding a whole slew of ideas and features to the game, like intel gathering missions where players can use drones, hacking via the drones, safe houses, weapons caches, all the types of things that you might expect from larger scale games adapted to the really precise, damn good mechanics of Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. It's open world, has a day-night cycle and dynamic weather, and supposedly there's actual tactical integration to the time of day and what kind of weather you're experiencing, which is very good. Essentially, it's shaping up to be a very interesting game that I suspect is probably going to be bigger than either of the previous titles. Number 8, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which is a collection of 3 games, including Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage, and Kingdom Hearts X Back Cover. Kingdom Hearts is a little bit tough to keep track of exactly what's going on because there's about a billion different games at this point, but the mechanics in a Kingdom Hearts game are pretty much unrivaled by anything other than Final Fantasy 15 now. I mean, let's be honest, Final Fantasy 15 is fantastic, but the ideas that sculpted that game came from the Kingdom Hearts series, and it's really hard to say, hey, there's no good reason to buy an HD version of 3 Kingdom Hearts games. Seriously. Number 7 is Yakuza 0, which, if you like the Sega version of Grand Theft Auto, why wouldn't you want another one? Sega's continually made what kind of seemed like a big ripoff at first into a world-class series, and Yakuza 0 looks to be the one that is the biggest benefactor of all that work. It's gradually come into its own, and what Yakuza 0 brings to the table is a new battle system that allows you to switch between different fighting styles in the middle of the battles, which is cool. Yakuza always does battling pretty well, and knowing that they've improved upon it, I'm excited. This one takes place in 1988 and acts as a prequel to the entire Yakuza series, so in some respects it could even be a reboot depending on what they do next. It took a long time to localize this game, but we're ready. Number 6, Night in the Woods is an adventure platformer that puts you in the shoes of May, who returned to her hometown of Possum Springs. The coal mines there have closed and stuff has gotten kind of interesting. There's paranormal stuff going on, basically. The themes of the game are depression, mental illness, the stagnancy of the lower and middle classes, and the slow death of small-town America, which, right up my alley. Like, this is the kind of stuff I'm interested in, so, and the graphics, oh my gosh, if you need to look at what's going on the screen right now. I love the colors, I love the art style. I have a feeling this is going to be the type of thing that Falcon really likes. Number 5 is Tales of Berseria, which, if you're aware of the Tales series of JRPGs, you know what you're getting. But if I know my JRPG fans, that means, yeah, I'm in. Berseria is using a new version of the Tales series linear motion battle system they're calling Liberation-Linear Motion Battle System, which when in a small zone of battle you can freely move around and gives you context-sensitive stuff to do, like you can walk out of the battle area, block, escape, etc. It's not so different that it's foreign, but there are a couple of minor evolutions that sort of go in with what you normally know about a Tales battle system. It also looks gorgeous, but they always do. They have such a great style and have figured out how to make a game that just, without looking hyper realistic, looks exactly like what I want it to look like. Number 4, a much more traditional looking JRPG, which was a really fantastic game that came out in 2005 for the PlayStation 2. It's been updated to go onto the 3DS, and I am assuming that it's not going to receive a lot of major graphical changes, but the game itself is a really good looking game, especially for its time period. I'm not going to say it's going to knock your socks off, but it's a great game, and it is everything you expect out of a traditional JRPG, especially one called Dragon Quest. Now, if you're a fan of JRPGs, this is going to be one that you want to play, especially if you've got quite the sense of humor. It really feels at all times like something of a Monty Python or some other kind of British humor type sensibility built into a phenomenal JRPG. Number 3 is Hitman: The Complete First Season, which is all of the episodes 1 through 6 of the episodic Hitman game that came out over the course of 2016. And if you played these games, they are, in my opinion, probably the definitive Hitman experience. I really enjoyed the hell out of the new Hitman games. Or game, I guess. And it gives you quite a bit of content, too. It's most certainly worth the amount of money that they're doing to give you the entirety of it. The physical disc includes all of the content, including the 6 episodes and any of the bonus content released. And just gonna go ahead and say this, it's great. Like, if you like any Hitman game, play this. It's exactly what it should be. Number 2 is Gravity Rush 2, which takes all the mechanics of the first game and does some serious expansion on it. There's now 3 different gravity styles so that you can manipulate how your character is moving much more different, presumably to deal with more situations, and the game itself is going to be about 3 times as long as the original game. On top of that, the map is 2.5 times larger than the original map. It's a direct sequel, it's picking up right where it left off, and if you enjoyed how unique Gravity Rush is, especially in a sea of other games like it, purporting to be unique, but not really giving you a mechanic that sets it apart, I would say this is a very exciting development, and I cannot wait to play it. And finally, number 1, which seems to be one of the more exciting releases to be happening over the next long while, not just in January. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is kind of flipping the formula upside down and attempting to make Resident Evil fresh, but not in a Resident Evil 6 fresh way. Like, no. We've talked a lot about this. What makes Resident Evil 4 good, despite, in my opinion, not having great controls. What makes Resident Evil 1 through 3 good, despite, again, not having the best controls of all time. It's personality. And Resident Evil 7 Biohazard has put some personality on display. This is what has me excited for it. The family in the beginning hour teaser, and the woman in the lantern demo. There's just more character that's apparent in even these small glimpses of the game. Part of it, the beginning hour teaser, not even actually in the game, they just went out of their way to make something that was heavy on actual character. And that's kind of, in my opinion, what's always made Resident Evil good. And despite the change in format to a more, let's just flat out say, PT-like experience, however, supposedly there is going to be combat elements, as well as VR elements. I'm very optimistic, and I think the dry spell is finally over for Resident Evil fans. But that's just a feeling. I could be wrong. We'll see. Which game are you looking forward to most in January 2017? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now is a very good time to do just that. You should subscribe now. We upload brand new videos every single day of the week, and we thank you very much for watching this one. I am Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero, and we'll see you next time right here on GameRanks.